हेलो जुडिशियल सर्विस एस्पिरेंट्स, जुडिशियल ड्रीम के MCQ क्लास में आपका वेलकम है। आज हम डाइवोर्स बाय म्यूचुअल कंसेंट, जुडिशियल सेपरेशन एंड कस्टमरी डाइवोर्स के टॉपिक पर पॉसिबल MCQs डिस्कस करेंगे। हमारा फर्स्ट MCQ है, इन विच कंसेंट थियरी ऑफ डाइवोर्स वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन द हिंदू मैरिज एक्ट 1955। आपके ऑप्शंस हैं A 1964, B 1979, C 1976, D 1985, E 1956। आपका सेकेंड क्वेश्चन है, under which of the following section of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 divorce by mutual consent has been provided? A. Under section 13(1)(a) of HMA, B. Under section 13(a) of HMA, C. Under section 13(b) of HMA, D. Under section 13(2) of HMA। आपका थर्ड क्वेश्चन है, what is necessary in a petition for divorce by mutual consent? A. A joint petition for divorce by both the spouse may be presented to the court. B. The parties must have been living separately for a period of 1 year. C. The parties have to move the court once again after 6 months but before 18 months from the date of presenting the petition. D. Consent of neither party have been obtained by fraud, force or undue influence. E. All of the above. Your fourth question is, in a proceeding for dissolution of marriage by mutual consent under section 13(b) of Hindu Marriage Act, a party to the petition A. Can withdraw the consent unilaterally, B. Can withdraw the consent with consent of other party, C. Can withdraw the consent with leave of the court, D. Cannot withdraw the consent. आपका फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन है, in a petition under section 13(b) of Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the consent can be withdrawn by the parties A. After the presentation of first petition, B. At the time of moving the court for the second time, C. Before moving the court for the second time, D. After moving the court for the second time but before passing of the decree for divorce, E. None of the above. आपका सिक्स्थ क्वेश्चन है, expression living separately under section 13(b) of Hindu Marriage Act refers A. Parties are not living as husband and wife, B. Parties may not live in the same house, C. Parties have no desire to perform marital obligations, D. Both A and C, E. Only B. आपका सेवंथ क्वेश्चन है, in which of the following case the Supreme Court held that consent can be withdrawn unilaterally? A. Prakash Kaur versus Bikramjit Singh, B. Jayashri Ramesh versus Ramesh Bikhaji, C. Sureshta Devi versus Om Prakash, D. Nachattar Singh versus Harcharan K, E. Ashok Hura versus Rupa। आपका एट्थ क्वेश्चन है, mark the correct options. First, consent theory makes the divorce very easy. Second, consent theory makes the divorce very difficult. आपके ऑप्शन है A. Only 1 and not 2, B. Both 1 and 2 are correct, C. Only 2 and not 1, D. Both A and B are correct. आपका नाइन्थ क्वेश्चन है, which of the following provision of HMA applies to customary divorce? ऑप्शन है A. 29(1), B. Section 29(2), C. Section 29(3) या फिर D. Section 29 subsection 4। आपका टेंथ क्वेश्चन है, द कस्टमरी डाइवोर्स कैन बी ऑब्टेन्ड थ्रू द, आपके ऑप्शन है A. एजेंसी ऑफ ग्राम पंचायत और कास्ट ट्रिब्यूनल, B. बाय प्राइवेट एक्ट ऑफ पार्टीज orally or in writing or under an agreement such as त्यागपत्र and फरकतनामा, C. both A and B, D. both only A and not B, E. only B and not A। आपका 11th क्वेश्चन है, अंडर सेक्शन 10 ऑफ हिंदू मैरिज एक्ट 1955 प्रोवाइड्स फॉर A. Judicial separation, B. Separation by agreement, C. Both judicial separation and separation by agreement, D. Only judicial separation and not separation by agreement, E. Only separation by agreement and not by judicial separation। Your 12th question is, a petition for judicial separation lies A. if the marriage is void, B. if the marriage is valid, C. if the marriage is either void or voidable, D. if the marriage is invalid। आपका 13th क्वेश्चन है, ऑर्डिनरली जुडिशियल सेपरेशन लीड्स टू A. reconciliation, B. divorce, C. either A or B, D. only A and not B, E. only B and not A। आपका 14th क्वेश्चन है, a decree of judicial separation is A. judgment in rem, B. judgment in personam, C. either A or B, D. only B and not A, E. only A and not B। Your 15th question is, what may be pleaded as a bar to petition for divorce on the basis of mutual consent? आपके ऑप्शन है A. compromise, B. collusion, C. both A and B, D. only A and not B, E. only B and not A। आज का आपका लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 16। ये थोड़ा टफ क्वेश्चन है, ज़रा अटेंटिव होइएगा। मार्क द इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट। फर्स्ट, अ डिक्री ऑफ जुडिशियल सेपरेशन डिसॉल्व्स द मैरिज बॉन्ड। Second, after the passing of a decree of judicial separation, cohabitation is not obligatory. Third, during judicial separation, the parties continue to be husband and wife, but marital rights and obligations are suspended. Fourth, the matters relating to alimony and maintenance of wife and children may not be agitated after a decree of judicial separation. Fifth, the grounds of judicial separation are same as grounds of divorce. आपके ऑप्शंस हैं A 1, 3 and 4, B 2, 3 and 5, C 1 and 4, D 2 and 4, E 2 and 3. ये थे आपके पॉसिबल MCQs डाइवोर्स बाय म्यूचुअल कंसेंट, जुडिशियल सेपरेशन और कस्टमरी डाइवोर्स पे. अगर आपको इनके आंसर की चाहिए तो आप हमारा व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप, टेलीग्राम चैनल ज्वाइन कीजिए, और अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आई तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, वीडियो को लाइक एंड शेयर कीजिए.